One of the most important aspects of Elev8 is that it is an actual opportunity for empowerment, for the communities that we work in to actually have the voice that has been often silenced or not heard, and also directed to policy change. And that is in particular for the young people and for their families who often have not seen school or education as a vehicle for their voice to actually be determinant in what their future could be.
Gentlemen, start walking to class.
My name is Marco Harris. I'm the principal here at Wilson Middle School. We are located in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and we are in an area that is underserved with a high needs population. Generally, a lot of our kids, about 72 to 82%, need a lot of extra services, a lot of things that I think could support them through their school day.
Elev8 is an important thing here in Wilson Middle School because we did not meet last year the standards that were put forward by the federal No Child Left Behind. Because of this, making the connection in after-school space at a school that did not have after-school is really key, because you can do the other ways of learning other than classroom instruction. And I think a lot of students don't learn by oral tradition. They learn by doing things, getting involved. That is much more intuitive for some students than for others. Another thing that happens in after-school space is we have service learning, where the students decide what they want to do within their community.
So what happened at Wilson was that a student passed out from hunger, and the students at Wilson got together and began to look at hunger in their school and began to educate themselves about the issue of hunger in their community. They also began to see how they could make change happen and reduce hunger.
We've been having an alternate meal policy, which means that students who don't have enough money have to pay for a cheese sandwich.
So what happens at lunchtime is that the kids are all in one big line. If they owe money and it's past the due date, then they're said, nope, you can't have a meal, your parents owe money, get them to pay what they owe. Here's your lunch. So it's clear that we have a poor line at Wilson.
So this is the back of the line where you would get your brown bag, which had this cheese sandwich.
Yeah. It makes people feel like they're outcasts and they don't have enough money, and that people tease them because it makes them feel like maybe poor. Cheese sandwiches, they're like really nasty. They're like hard, they're with cheese, they're not really hot.
And it certainly wasn't a meal that meets USDA requirements.
We had to band together because it was just plain wrong in the first place, just wrong. And we want to change that so we all can have an equal amount of lunch to eat.
So the parent volunteers took the lead in the organizing work that happened around this policy, and then the students stepped in and took a leadership role as well.
And so then we had a petition where we gave it to all the students to sign it. We got like 300 and something signatures in 10 days. And we asked the superintendent to give students at Wilson free or reduced lunch.
The national media was calling us. We got calls from National Public Radio, we got calls from Good Morning America, and we got calls from other reporters too that really wanted to hear the story from the position of the students and the parents.
We talked to many senators and we brought up the issues in the school, and they were actually very proud of us and gave us certificates for that.
I wanted to be a game designer when I wanted to grow up because I was so into games. But now, since I actually went up to go see the governor and the senator and the lieutenant governor, now that really changed me into politics and all this other stuff.
Our school got a memorandum, and it recognized Wilson for our outstanding work in the community.
I felt really awesome. I came into 8th grade just being like, okay, I'm not going to do anything. And I got into Elev8, and it just turned my world around. I'm actually proud of myself for what I've done to the community.
And it made us feel really important that we can do stuff and that we're not just little kids that can't do anything.
And Elev8 taught me that we can always change the world, and we can change things just by coming together and attempting to solve our problems.
Elev8, to me, it's really an opportunity for the kids to get the things that they need to help them perform better while they're at school, whether it's getting the health and wellness that they need, whether it's from their family, or just from extra help.
So we're building a garden to help students understand what it is to eat healthy instead of eating this. So this is what we're trying to get them off of.
Our community right here, there's no grocery store where our children can go out. All we have here, the options are fast food, greasy food that's less healthy for you.
Every time you eat 26 chips, you're eating 200 milligrams or something. It's not right. So we're going to have tomatoes and cabbage.
I'm very proud to have him as my son and to be a part of this program because now we enjoy eating salads. My son and I both enjoy eating salads.
You know that saying, it takes a village to raise a child. I think it takes all of us to support our children, and it takes all of these services in order to support the success of middle school students and their families, especially in the context of what's going on in the economy.
My friends used to say that I looked really tired and my eyes were like swelling, and they say, "Why are you look like that?" And I would just say, "Because I don't have a house."
They didn't even have a car of their own, so they would borrow a neighbor's when it was available to sleep in. Our first contact with Mercedes was by giving her food because they were identified as being hungry. And the second contact was to refer them over to family support, and we were able to get them Section 8 housing. And if you went through the district, it would have been 4 to 6 months wait. But because we have contacts in other agencies, within a month they were in housing.
This is our apartment. Now that I have a house, they're all looking like they tell me, you look better and stuff.
So Andy now has passed every subject. And that's just a wonderful success. That would have never happened if we didn't have Elev8 in the school.
Now, like, I'm prosperous, and my mom don't have no more stress.
I do think that a lot of times with youth organizing or even youth involvement, we single a few out, or we take the cream of the crop. And with Elev8, what we'd like to do is look at those young people that don't have yet that voice and develop it.
Revis is an amazing community of children that live on the mid-south side of Chicago. When I initially came to the school 5 years ago, our children's test scores were horrible. To now, about 62% of our children are meeting standards. We've seen even more growth since we've been involved with Elev8 because we've been able to extend the learning.
Kids come in here quite a bit. They come in, "Hi, Mrs. Taylor, you know, what you doing? Where are we going to go for camp? Are we going to have winter camp?" So they started creating their own programs that they want to see here.
We've been talking with our students here at Revis about citizenship and their ability to become leaders and someone who can give back to their community. The students came up with this great idea to create this mural. It is a program funded by Elev8, and it reflects their connection to history.
It was really a collaborative process between myself and about 15 students, and sometimes their little brothers and sisters. And I'm not going to say to a 6th grade student, "How are you going to change the world?" But let's change, something in our direct world around us and really make something that's tangible. And believe it or not, some of the students were some of the harder students to work with in the beginning, but after they've got their hand in painting, totally changed, did a 180, and we're the leaders of this project.
So when Brandon had asked us what did we actually want to put on the wall, first we came up with, let's put Obama, because he was becoming a president.
It gave them a sense of empowerment. It gave them a way to connect with history, and it gave them a way to showcase their talents to their parents, to say, "Look at what I'm learning, look at what I'm capable of doing."
Like me personally, I like myself, and I like what I'm doing in my life, so I had to put my face on that.
Make it a change.
Yeah, changes, Obama quotes. Change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones who we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. Yes, we can.
Change means to me like that you can do something different. You can be something you want to be.
Through the process, these students were able to take ownership over this mural, as well as to feel that they did make a difference in their school, and as well to feel important because of it.
Amazing change, Revis!
Elev8 is really an opportunity to bring both young people and families together to express their voice in determining how they will resolve the issues that they face and the challenges that they face, and use the assets that they have to actually transform their situation and their society and their community.